Yeah, explain.
So banks, U.S. bank CEOs, you can imagine U.S. banks are quite important to China's economy.
Yes.
Why? China doesn't actually have a real currency, right? China's whole kind of economy has been based off of Western, or I should just say foreign investors, right? For a long time now.
Yeah.
When China was completely closed off, Deng Xiaoping and prior, its economy it was very poor, right? It's a very poor country. And then when what's it called? The economic experiment with capitalism happened, a lot of companies came in. Chinese people are very hardworking and skilled already. So it was kind of a beautiful marriage of investment and money and a skilled populace, right?
Right.
Really brought China to where it is today.
Sure.
Now, money needs to go somewhere and come from somewhere, though, right? And unfortunately, that capital is not a reliable capital that is coming from China, right?
Well, I mean, to break it down really simply, let's just say in China, there's a company and it wants to buy some raw materials, or it wants to buy chips.
Yes.
If it goes and approaches another country and it wants to buy something, it doesn't use Chinese yuan as the currency. No. It uses US dollars.
That's correct.
That's usually how it works. So if they want to buy a bunch of chips from Intel, they have to pay Intel with US dollars.
That's right.
So they have to buy the US dollars from America.
Correct.
Basically. So they use the American dollar as the main sort of reserve currency there.
Yes. So it was surprising to see bank CEOs say this: "We will follow the guidance of the government, which has been working with China for decades. If they change their position, we will change it immediately, just like we did in Russia." And then a quote from JP Morgan Chase.
Right.
"We would absolutely salute and follow what the U.S. government said. That's all of you. What you want us to do," he told the committee.
Okay.
So they would basically cut China off from the U.S. banking system at the drop of a hat, if that's the position that China was going to take in the event that it would invade Taiwan.
Yeah.
Which is it's different than when a president says it, or one party says it, or the federal government, or a state governor or something.
Yeah.
It's different when it's paired together with an economic response solidified by CEOs of banks. Right.
And that's the only kind of coercion that China will listen to be honest, is financial like that. So it's basically they're saying F around and find out.
You know what's funny? There was a semi-official response after that. I should say it's official. It was from the Chinese government that China is now willing
to do a peaceful reunification.
To go through peaceful reunification with Taiwan.
Yeah. I think they've realized, by the way, that they, for those of you who have been keeping up with the whole Taiwan situation, if you've been watching the show, Nancy Pelosi landed in Taiwan, made China super angry. They started firing missiles into the sea. They started live firing it. They basically went to war with the sea life.
Yeah.
Okay.
They hated the sea life.
They hated it. They were like bombing the fish and the octopuses and all that.
Coral, get out of there.
Yeah, get out of here, Coral. You don't even belong here.
Yeah.
Squids, you name it. They were going after them. So they fired like live missiles all around Taiwan.
Yeah.
They sent their boats out there. They sent their planes out there all around the island doing these stupid live fire exercises, which is basically like throwing a tantrum, right?
Yes.
Now, the thing is that they thought that showing this like strength would somehow make Taiwan back down, or maybe show the rest of the world that, we're serious about this. But it had the opposite effect. It proved that China is a belligerent bully and really just a nuisance.
Yeah.
So now the rest of the world's like, well, you kind of screwed up.
Yeah.
Okay. And you really did. And they kept doing it. Remember, they kept extending the deadlines. And in fact, they almost successfully had a blockade around Taiwan, because those live fire zones that they're shooting missiles into and stuff, you can't take a boat through there with cargo on it, because it'll get hit by missiles and stuff. So they had to make plans to go around. There's certain areas they couldn't fly their commercial airliners through now, because they're flying jets there shooting the sea. So it got to a point where Taiwan was like, look, this is actually ridiculous. And America's also like, this is kind of like a blockade. If you push it any further, this is going to be seen as an act of war. Yeah. And so China's like, yeah, okay, maybe we might just try. We'll do peaceful means, just kind of forget about that little tantrum we threw.
By the way, not in relation to any of the threats that were made. They didn't link those up, obviously, but that's clearly what's happened.
Absolutely. All right, so the banks in America are taking it seriously, and hopefully, something will be done about it.
Oh, that's a massive incentive for China to not mess around.
Yeah. Let's hope that it gets to that point where they find out.
Yeah.